You're now listening to Truth Talk Radio with life coach Tandy, your favorite level up coach, here to show you that leveling up and overcoming is possible.
Truth Talk Radio is sponsored by Champagne's 21, the best bar and restaurant located in the heart of Germantown at 21 East Shelton Avenue. If you're looking to order some of the best food in Germantown, call 215-849-7366 for orders. That's Champagne's 21 Bar and Restaurant, the best bar and restaurant in Germantown. Truth Talk Radio is sponsored by Virtual Sisters LLC. Virtual Sisters provides virtual administrative management and takes care of those pesky admin needs that you may not want to be bothered with while running your small business. They will customize admin packages to suit your needs. For royal services for your admin needs, go to IG at virtual_sisters LLC or call them at 727-301-2183.
I have a couple of things that I want to talk about. I have a special guest, but before my special guest comes on, because of some things that are going on, I'm going to kind of switch up a little bit and have a topic prior to my guest coming on. But before we get started on that, I also wanted to have a quick conversation. Actually, I didn't plan on it being a quick conversation. However, because, don't laugh at me, Eric, but however, because I kind of wanted to switch it around today, I do want to just talk about this really quick. And I was originally going to have a conversation about energy, right? And how important it is to protect our energy. How important it is to protect our energy, and how when we don't protect our energy, how not protecting our energy can also cause emotional baggage. And one of the reasons why I wanted to speak about emotional baggage and energy was because I'm becoming a certified emotional coding practitioner, and I'm learning that it is so important to protect energy because of how emotions can be trapped in our bodies, okay? And when we have a lot of emotional baggage and a lot of trapped emotions, it could cause physical pain, it could cause emotional reactions, and we're not even aware of how these trapped emotions are causing the pain or anything mental, right? But what happens is that our bodies are made up of energy, okay? That's all our bodies are made up of. And emotions are balls of energy. So when something significant or traumatic happens in your life, what happens is that these balls of energies that are emotions get trapped in our bodies if they're not processed, right? If you don't process them, which means if you don't acknowledge them, get some type of work to heal from it, it gets trapped in your body and it causes physical pain, or it causes some type of mental stress, right? So with the emotional coding, this is a process that allows you to heal. It's called energy healing, and it allows you to heal, and it allows you to be able to release all of the emotional baggage that we walk around with. Some of these emotions can be inherited. Some can happen while you're in the fetus. While you're a fetus, it can also happen as early as when you were born, okay? And so imagine a trapped emotion being lodged in your body at an early age, and now you're an adult and you've been walking around with these trapped emotions, and then there's one trapped emotion after another, and you're basically weighed down with the emotional baggage. Okay, so I am so glad to have this added to my practice, because it is given the opportunity to give people to heal when, you know, it wasn't heal from things that you may not even been aware of, okay? And emotional baggage is like, it really is a lot. And I've been helping people lately just really release a lot of the emotional baggage and being able to get some real healing along with the life coaching aspect of it, and it's so awesome. And speaking of protecting energy, that's one thing that I've really become really big on, right? So in part of me protecting my energy, I have basically cut out television. Like, I very rarely watch TV. If I do, it's a movie or so on a Saturday or Sunday, but I don't watch much TV, and I definitely don't watch the news. And so I was not aware of an incident that happened in Minneapolis with, his name is George Floyd. I was not aware of the incident. The incident happened on Monday, and it went viral. People were recording, and it went viral on Tuesday. And so this morning, originally, my son, I was talking to my son, and he was like, did you hear about what was going on in Minneapolis? And I was like, no, I didn't, because I hadn't been on social media because I was trying to finish my practicums for the certified emotional coding, and I just don't watch television much at all. And so, sorry. And so so throwing me off. So, so because I don't watch television much, I was so unaware of what was going on. So when he told me this morning, I chose to overlook it and go and do some other things. And then so I received another phone call maybe about 2 hours prior to me getting ready for the show. And this person was like, are you aware of what's going on? And I was like, no, I was choosing to not stay woke today. Usually I stay woke, but I was choosing not to stay woke today because I just did not want to be weighed down with the emotions of um, what was going on. Like, I mean, it's happening uh, every time we turn around. A black man is being gunned down in the middle of the street, killed in the middle of the street. And I was just choosing not to stay woke today. So I thought. And so in this phone call, the person talked me into going to social media and watching the video. And when I watched the video, I could not believe, even though we've seen these recordings over and over and over and over again with different black men, I still could not believe what was happening in front of me. I couldn't believe it. This man was he held down by the police. He was handcuffed, and he was on his stomach, down on the ground, and the officer had his knee in his neck for 7 minutes. 7 minutes. The first 5 minutes, he was saying that he could not breathe and calling for his mother, a grown man. I watched on social media a grown man call for his mother. That was nowhere around. He was in Minneapolis. His mother lives in Houston. Okay? And I watched a grown man yell, "Mama," 4 times for 5 minutes and say he couldn't breathe. Okay? And then he was not moving for another 3 minutes while the officer kept his knee in his neck. He was not moving for another 3 minutes. Other officers came while this officer had his knee in his neck and checked his pulse. And the officer still did not move his knee from his neck while another officer checked his pulse. The EMTs came, and he did not move his knee off of this man's neck until the EMTs came. They rolled him over, put him on the gurney, and put him in the ambulance and drove off and claimed that he died at the hospital, which that is not what happened. He died right there. So, yeah. So during this phone call, this person said, we should talk about this today. And I said, you know what? We absolutely should. So when we come back, going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to have my part-time guest, I'm going to call him, on the show. And we're going to have a discussion about how we're going to start trying to make some changes in the community, because this has to stop.
Spread the wall, make it clear. 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 Hands on your knees, make it make it clear. Spread the wall, 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 make it clear.
Ladies, booty bounce to this.
Hands on your knees, make it up.
Booty bounce to this.
Radio is sponsored by Champagne's 21, the best bar and restaurant located in the heart of Germantown at 21 East Shelton Avenue. If you're looking to order some of the best food in Germantown, call 215-849-7366 for orders. That's Champagne's 21 Bar and Restaurant, the best bar and restaurant in Germantown.
It's your will, the desire of my heart is your will, the whole not in part, to please you I live for, to know you I long for, your will, that's the safest place to be.
Desire of my heart.
Radio is sponsored by Made with Love Juicery. Made with Love Juicery has all natural raw vegan cold pressed juices, smoothies, and wellness shots, which you need right now. So go to Instagram at LoveJuice8 and get your wellness shots today.
Hey everybody, we're back and it is 6:22. This is Truth Talk Radio and I'm Life Coach Tandy, your favorite level up coach. So before we went on break, I was talking about George Floyd, the guy who was murdered by a police officer in Minneapolis. And so I was telling you guys how I was trying to choose not to stay woke today, but someone wouldn't allow that. Like I was really making out, which I usually don't do when it comes to things like this. Like I'm on CNN, I'm watching, I want to know what's going on in the city. I want to know, where they're protesting. I want to know what's going on. But honestly, today I was choosing to not stay woke today because I think what got to me most was like I can't even sit down right now. Like why I was choosing not to even acknowledge this today was because like I'm so tired of constantly over and over and over again, just seeing a black man being murdered in the middle of the street like nothing, like he's an animal or less than an animal, because if he was an animal, then there would be animal rights people protesting and it would have been a problem, okay? So less than. So to see our black men go through this, and it's so heartening for me, and it's so scary because I have a son, I have 2 grandsons, and it just baffles me on how this continues to be acceptable and nothing happens. I literally can't believe how I watched on social media while a grown man called for his mother over and over and over again, and asked for help and asked that they stop because he couldn't breathe. And then I also read that the tactic of putting the knee in the neck was against policy and all of this. Like it just really it wore me down, and I think that's why at the time I was really choosing not to acknowledge it and not to stay woke at that moment because it was too much, right? So I got a phone call. Fareed Abdullah, thanks to him, he's the reason why I woke up this morning. Or it wasn't this morning. It was like about an hour or 2 before my show. He's the reason why I actually went and watched the video, right? And then he went live on his page and was going off, and I'm like, dude, you're in the middle of an election, okay? But we had this whole conversation, and then he was like, we should talk about this on your show. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. We should talk about this today. So Fareed, come on. We're gonna. So he was here last week. Fareed was here last week and was strictly talking about his life and politics. But when he called me today and suggested that we talk a little bit about this today, I had to agree because it has to stop.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something that we continue to see throughout this country. And prior to me even coming here, I had a conversation with 2 young ladies at the corner, and they were talking about the situation. And one of the young ladies, she knew who I was from Facebook. She was like, "Hey, are you?" She's like, "I follow you." So we started talking about the conversation, and as we were talking about the conversation, she was like, "We have to really find a way to come together because this continues to happen, and we can't allow people to just dog us out." So one of the young ladies said that there's a reaction to every action. So I was like, "Oh, explain a little bit more." She said, cops are going to have to deal with the reaction to their actions. So people are like really tired of what's
this.
like people are like, look, we are at war.
Right.
And one of the young ladies said that her cousin is a police officer, and that she said, when is my cousin going to take a stand? And we see that there's a lot of African American police officers who have not come out and said anything about these issues that we continue to see. And unfortunately, you know, for us, we're just feeling like we're fed up. And you know, the hurt and the pain that so many people are facing, not just from the mere fact that we're dealing with the issues in our own community, but then to deal with an issue where police officers, racist police officers, continue to just look at us not like animals because they love animals more.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're less
trash.
than. Like when I was watching the video, right? Again, the video that I was trying not to stay woke on. And when I watched it, then it dawned on me why. When my son originally called me this morning, I was making a conscious decision to continue my day without watching this.
Yes.
Right?
That's true.
I was making a conscious decision. And when I watched it, listen, let me tell you something. As a mother, if I would watch my grown-ass son scream out for me, right?
Wow.
While a police officer put his knee in the back of his neck, right? I want y'all to know that it's one or two things that's going to happen. If I was to ever see that, right? I'm just going to leave this earth right then and there.
Okay.
That's what's going to happen. Or it's going to be some retaliation, and then I'm going to leave this earth, right?
Understand.
Because as a mother, like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, this grown-ass man is yelling for his mom. That's in Houston. He in Minneapolis. She in Houston. And he, like, I just, even though I've seen it 1,000 times, right? We've seen it 1,000 times.
Absolutely. We've seen it a lot. Yes.
But it's like every single time it happens, you still can't believe that it's happening.
Exactly. It's almost like, you know, you say, oh, man, it hasn't been any killings from a white police officer, and then boom, it hits us. And, you know, we have to hold ourselves accountable for, not for that, but for some of the things that we are supposed to do as a community. This can't pass without us really forming a pack amongst ourselves. And I say that because every time we turn on the TV, there's a killing of black man, black woman, even if it's from the hands of our own. But then when it's from the hands of, you know, white police officers or a white man or a white woman, whatever, racist person, you know, we jump to this, let's protest, let's go. But these things continue to happen, so we can start to do the same things that we're doing right now when it's our own, and really start to take back our communities. Because I believe, heart of hearts, that these young men that are killing each other and out here, they have this sense of, I really don't want to do this, but something is making them do that. But then when we see what's happening, when racist people are gunning us down, our heart is just broken. We have to change, like, now.
Today.
Literally, like today.
Right now.
Exactly.
Like right now as we speak.
Absolutely.
So how do you think that that's going? Okay, because listen, like another thing that like when you suggested that we talk about it for a minute today, one of the things that made me agree to it was that when we started our original, you know, when we started the conversation, you was like, I was on Facebook and I was going in and I was saying this and I was saying that. I was like, dude, you're in the middle of an election. I need you to calm down a little bit, like slow your roll. Hold on. I need you to, you know, get elected or whatever. And you was like, I don't care.
That's right.
I don't care.
Yes.
I'm tired of this. That could have been me.
That's right.
That could have been someone related to me. I don't care. And I'm gonna stand up. I would
Exactly.
rather stand up and die for this
That's
than
right.
to die for being elected into a office.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And
Go ahead.
and I definitely like. I mean, I feel like that's part of where it stands.
Exactly. That's right.
That's I mean that's part of where it starts.
Yes.
That's part
We're
of where
leaders,
it starts.
police officers. Someone said today earlier, they said, well, man, I think that they're afraid and they want to get a paycheck. Listen, you made or took an oath to protect and serve
Right.
no matter what.
Right.
And if you see your colleague, your coworker, whatever, your fellow police officer doing something that you know is wrong, you hear the conversations.
Right.
They hear these conversations in the locker room.
Right.
They know what's going on, and they
Right.
turn the cheek. They close
For a
their
paycheck.
yeah, for a paycheck. They have to stand up because we're standing up, but they're not. And just go.
So I also think that that's part of the issue why we are seen on the level that we're seen,
Yeah.
because we will prioritize
Mhm.
certain things
Yeah.
that comes before our culture or what is the other word I'm looking for? Beliefs.
Okay.
Protecting our race.
Yes.
Like they will protect their race.
They protect their fraternity.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
so it's almost this code that this is what you're a part of now. It's us against them.
Right.
And a lot of police officers who are of color are being brainwashed to believe that they're really a part of
that.
this society.
Right.
And they're not, because what happens when it comes to their own home?
Right.
Then what? Are you going to stand up? And I've seen black police officers talk about the injustices after they're no longer on the force.
Right.
But we need you to take a stand
While
while
you're
on
on
the
the
force.
force.
Let
Right.
us know what's going on. Let us know how we can all work together, because if you lose your job because of this, then you're losing your job for something great.
Right. How about that? But do you think that like it's like really how it is on television, where it's not just about a paycheck, it's about like their life. Like their life could be in jeopardy or
It could be. I know a lot of police officers who are African American, and a lot of them don't hang with people who are not within those parameters. They'll hang with other police officers. It's like they literally separate themselves from the common people. It's almost like they become this robotic type of individuals. And I'm not saying all, but there is a lot of police officers who are African American that walk that line. And you're like, even for us, we look at police officers like they're not human sometimes.
that's true.
Like, oh man, you a cop? Oh man, this instant gratification of authority
Right.
comes in. And I
Right.
think some of these police officers, and not particularly talking about the guy who murdered Floyd, but other police officers. But we talk about Floyd and what he did. He came to work saying, I'm going to kill somebody today. who's
That's the way
black."
it looked, didn't
Yes,
it? That's the way it
absolutely.
looked.
Yeah.
Like he literally, it looked like he came to work
Exactly.
that morning with that intent, right? So let's remember where we left off, because I definitely want to get back into what it looked like,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And we're going to take a break. This is Life Coach Tandy. I'm your favorite level up coach, and I'm sitting here with Fareed Abdullah, and we're talking about the incident with George Floyd in Minneapolis and how we can help the community, how we can start coming together and trying to get a hold of these types of situations.
Absolutely.
We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yes.
So y'all can talk about. So there's a couple of YouTube videos out there where it's talking about like. So if you look at the pattern for a lot of these incidents, like the guys getting pulled over by in cars by white cops and stuff like that, guns they put up. So every cop stated that he disrespected. So that's the driver of it is respect. And then the key thing is, where does it say in any law book that you have to respect?
Respect somebody, right?
So their main, when they write down the reports, is he disrespected. This is all these reports. They did an investigation. This is all their reports. Is this African American disrespected this police officer? Even with the doctor down in Miami, he. So I did start looking at shit yesterday. I didn't look but the doctor in Miami, the cop got out and said he was disrespectful. He didn't call me sir. He didn't
Yeah.
call me Mr.
something.
Is there
where the
something
cop-
playing?
No. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So there was another incident where the cop uh, pulled the gun out on the guy in the car. And the guy in the car was like, "Yo, I don't have nothing. I'm not getting out." The cop was like, "He got a gun," and shouted to the other cops. And the guy didn't have a gun. But so these are like, so if you start researching some of this shit, because it made me look at it a little bit yesterday, and I was like, "Yo, this is just fucked up." But sometimes if you look at it, if you just comply, fucking is over, right? Like, right? I get arrested.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. But whether I get arrested or not, I didn't argue with him. It's on camera. So that's the loophole where the cops is getting away with because I argue with you. When I say I'm gonna arrest, when I say, when the cops say you're under arrest, I'm gonna lock you up. That's when the arrest part starts. The verbal acknowledgement, hey, I'm gonna lock you up, I'm gonna arrest you. That's when it starts. So once you not comply after that, that's when you fuck up. That's how the law looks at it.
Okay, because you should have just not said nothing.
Remember, what is it? You have the right to remain silent. So once he said, I'm gonna lock you up, or I'm gonna put you under arrest, that's when it starts. Yeah, I guess some of that shit. It's deep. It's deep. There's a couple of shows online now.
Yeah, but that's still bullshit because that don't give you the right to kill me.
But that's what they're saying.
Because that's not, disrespect is not a law.
It's racism, man.
He's a cop from Parsippany, the whitest township in Pennsylvania.
Oh, they brainwashed him, didn't they?
But he's the opposite of it. He don't fuck with them like and that's where. But the key thing is he's excelling because he don't fuck with them like that.
Right.
Like he's a rifle instructor. He's on SWAT up there. Like they have their own little version of SWAT. He doesn't fuck with them like that, and he showed them that from the beginning.
Right.
And that's where a lot of other cops come in, so see blacks and they want to be their buddies.
Right.
Like that, and fall into that trap.
Right.
I'm already ain't shit you can do to me.
Right.
And that's how
Right.
he went up there with them and
Right.
I'm here. There's nothing you can do to me.
Right.
Brought out my career, leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
And he pointed that out to them like his fucking third week on the job. When they went, other cops wanted to fuck some guys up. Mouth it off at him.
Right.
He's in a white area, and the white guy would mouth it off at him. And the cops was like, because you know, so you gotta trust, it's blue against the world.
Right.
I know. That's what I said. I said it's dumb.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I said. I
Right.
said it's dumb against
Right.
us against them.
Right.
His cop friends was like, yo, you want to fuck him up? And he was like, no, man, I'm good. That's when they knew he wasn't part of that get along.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's crazy. Yusuf Jackson is a detective in Pennsylvania.
God darn this thing. Don't let us stay up.
He just got busted down to patrolling again because he was speaking out against this shit. He has my other radio station, Spiritual Connect Radio. And I was like, yo, man, I saw him in a picture. He's in a squad car. I'm like, what the fuck happened? He's like, man, my own story. So there are ramifications for being
Right. When you speak against them.
Oh,
Right.
fucking well.
Right. Who cares?
There's ramifications for me being in politics and telling the people that these elected officials taking money under the table. Fuck them. That's how I feel.
When we go back, Eric, can you let my guests in, please?
I got my own shit. Degrees, they can't stop nothing
Okay.
from me. You heard?
Listen. It has to stop somewhere.
That's why I ain't scared. What the fuck? Damn. You ready?
Hey everybody, we're back. This is Life Coach Tandy, your favorite level up coach on Truth Talk Radio. And I'm sitting here with Fareed Abdullah. And before we went on break, we were talking about, again, the incident with George, I cannot talk today. George Floyd.
Yes.
In
Yes.
Minneapolis.
Sorry about
And
that.
we were talking about the fact that the way it looked in the video was that this officer's intent when he woke up Monday morning was to come to work, right, and patiently wait for the right black man to kill.
Yes.
Because he literally, you could see it in you could see it in everything about him while he had his knee in his neck.
He waited until there was no more breath.
No, wait, he didn't, even when there was no more breath, he didn't
he
move.
stayed on there.
He did. 3 minutes after he did not move, he still had his knee in his back.
I feel like this coward, I'm saying it, coward, he took one for his team. I feel like there is a group of people who are racist and saying, you know, we're not afraid.
Right.
We're going to take one for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And if something happens to us, oh well.
Right.
We'll be taken care of.
Right.
He took one for his team. And you can see he had no fear. He had
nothing.
And almost
nothing.
The other
he
police
had
officers,
nothing.
Yeah, the other police officers, they were in on it.
Because they had nothing either. They stood there like it was nothing and told everybody. There was a point where one of the bystanders was trying to walk towards the officer that had his knee in George's neck, and there was another police officer that
Asian
literally,
guy.
stood in front of that officer
sure
and blocked him.
Exactly.
What in the tarnations?
What that shows me is that the attack is not on Asians, not even on Hispanics. Like
no, it's not
on Black Americans.
Yep.
It is this hatred that is festering or has been festering in some of white America, and they're ready to just. They're not ready. They are unleashing.
Right, because they've been
exactly. They are.
Yeah, they passed ready.
Their hatred towards us, and we have become a people who are so apologetic. We're so forgiving. There's no more being apologetic.
No.
We can't apologize for who we are, the color that we are.
No.
We can't apologize that we didn't ask to come here.
How about that?
We were forced to be in this country.
Right.
We didn't ask to be in communities that are impoverished.
Right.
We didn't ask for drugs to come into our communities.
We didn't bring the drugs into our communities. How about that?
Exactly.
Right.
We were, after slavery, beginning to feel proud about who we were.
Right.
As African Americans, Black people, whatever you want to call us. In the system, always find a way
to bring us down. Definitely.
I was talking earlier about how the image of Black men and Black women being gunned down, what that resonates to you little boys and girls.
Right.
The image of them seeing this because they have access. My 4 and 5-year-old great nephews have access to social media.
And can see this.
They can see these things. And that sends a chill that when they see a white man, that fear instantly enters into their body.
I feel like it, yes, definitely would if oh my God, it's so crazy because that, like what you just said, brought me back to a conversation that happened with my son and at the time he was 4 years old. His teacher, right, and my son went to go pick up my grandson, and the teacher pulled my son to the side and told my son about a conversation that her and the 4-year-old had. And so she asked him what did it mean if you saw a police officer, right? And he said, well, you could get, when you see a police officer, you can either get beat up or you can die.
Wow.
And he was 4. 4.
And you know what? I have a lot of police officers who are friends, but I can't feel sorry for them anymore. And I know that they're not those police officers who are out there doing these things. But if you're not saying
standing
anything,
up, then
you're a
with
part of
them.
it.
Yeah.
You're a part of it. You can't sit there and think that this is morally right.
And because again, it goes back to like what you said, when a 4, 5-year-old, 6-year-old sees this, again, it causes instant fear, and then it immediately lets you know that you're nobody, you're nothing, that somebody can kill you in the middle of the street while people watch and record on top of that.
Exactly.
And nothing's gonna happen to you. You're gonna get fired. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get fired from your job.
You know what's gonna happen one day? and I really feel it coming. There's going to be a black police officer out somewhere in the suburbs or just somewhere, and they are going to get into a verbal altercation with one of these racist white police officers, and it's going to escalate, and it's going to almost be who's going to draw their gun the fastest.
Right.
And it's probably going to be recorded. It's going to spark this outrage, probably amongst the black police officers. And I'm praying that black men and women that wear the same uniform, that they get the courage to stand up and fight a fight that they are truly a part of.
Wait, so you think that they won't stand up until it actually happens to a black officer in
I'm
blue?
hoping. I don't know. I'm just, it's like I want to, I said on my live today that a lot of black men and women who are in these positions, even elected positions, they're in a sunken place.
Definitely.
And they are
Definitely.
so far gone because they, oh, well, it's not happening to me. I'm still getting a paycheck. They don't talk to me this way. Yeah, these guys are out here doing wrong.
Right.
But you're in a sunken place. You are in a position to change lives.
Right.
And if you're not doing that, these are your cousins. These are your
Right.
nephews,
Right.
nieces, and
Right.
some of these are your sons.
Right.
And you can't speak up. You give up. You just turn your back on them and say, well, you know what? They shouldn't be doing what they're doing.
Right. They it's okay for them to
Exactly.
be executed
Exactly.
in the middle of the street.
But guess what? Right now, they're in Minneapolis protesting, rioting. Guess who's out there with them? The white police officers. Black police officers.
Right.
Because they're on duty.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, if I was, well, first of all, that this is part of the reason why I don't think I would ever be able to be an officer because of this type of stuff. But I don't know what I would do. Like, there's no way in the world I could be on that side.
I
don't
would
know.
take my badge and gun off and go right on the other side.
Right.
Take this paycheck, screw it.
Right.
We're at war.
Right.
It's the same thing, being elected. And I know that there are bad bills that are being presented to hurt people of color. Like, we don't even talk about like the gas plants and all these things that are causing environmental issues, toxins and all these different things. Sometimes you got to take that suit and tie off and say, hold on,
This
I'm
ain't
standing
right.
with the people.
Right. This isn't right.
Yeah.
This isn't right.
Could you imagine if an elected official got off of the diocese, and said, you know what, y'all out here tripping.
Right.
I'm coming over here with the people. I stand with y'all.
Right. And so that was a part of why I was like, yes, we definitely have to talk about this on my show because, again, I was like, yo, dude, you're live. Like, calm down. And he was like, I don't give a damn. Like, this is not going to happen on my watch. I'm not going to condone this. I'm not going to say that this is okay just because I'm running for office. Like, this is not.
Exactly.
This is not.
I'm a black man.
I think right. Like, and I
With a
because
beard.
you made a good point. Like, it could be you, and I think that's part of when I was watching the video. I'm a mother, so to hear a grown man, like in all the other videos, like that's not something that that happened in the video. Like, it was death, it was murder, it was they were shot. Except for Garner.
Yes, but Garner, he had his neck and everything, and he kept on saying, I can't breathe. And I guess at that moment, I don't know what you're thinking at that moment.
Right.
I don't know, but
Well, listen, for a grown man to call out for his mama, you know exactly what he's thinking.
Yes.
For a grown man to call out for his mama. That was hard. Right.
Pain
that was heart wrenching, not breaking.
We all should be
wrenching.
Protesting.
Right.
This whole country.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not just black people that are protesting. It's white people that are rocking out with us.
Well, actually, in the video, it was a white female doing some of the recording.
That's
So
right.
it was a white female that the Chinese officer was trying to block from
Exactly.
her view of recording.
And you know
Yeah.
what? With her privilege, she could have ran over there and probably
Right, and nothing would have happened to her.
Nothing would have happened.
Nothing.
But you
Nothing.
know what? Sometimes you don't know what to do in those situations. But we all need to be protesting right now.
We do.
And literally because we have racist police officers in the city of Philadelphia that could care less about
That's
the
true.
lives of black men and women. You don't see them out there interacting. Yeah, you have community relation officers. Okay, you have a separate unit.
Right.
But then you have most police officers that come, they show up after the fact.
Right.
They need to live right here. They
Right.
let's stop letting them move outside. No, they need to live. If you work in this district, you need to live in the district.
Right.
Period.
Right.
That's how it needs to be.
Right.
Kids,
Right.
Listen, our gloves are off. This
Yeah.
isn't a sport now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we had the gloves on before. Nah, this is bare knuckles
Right.
for real.
Right.
You know, a punch feels different when you get punched with your bare knuckles as
Right.
opposed to
With
a glove.
Right.
Both
right.
can knock you out, but the bare knuckles can break some stuff.
Right.
That's where we are right now, and I'm
Yeah.
not literally saying do that.
No, I know exactly what
Just
you're
using it
saying.
as
It's
an
just like we have to
analogy.
we have to go from the simple protesting for a couple of days
Yeah.
to, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what happens. We get in the uproar, we protest for a couple of days, and then it dies down, and then we just wait for it to happen
Exactly.
again. Nothing happens after the protest
Exactly.
and all of that. You know what
I agree.
yeah. So it's like that's what I feel like you're saying. The gloves are off now. Like there something else needs to take place.
And you know what, Tandy, we can't have any more of the Martin Luther King protests. And I love Martin Luther King's his vision, and that was needed then. Right now, listen,
We got to get
we
grimy
gotta
on them.
get grimy. and I'm not
Yeah.
saying with violence, but I'm saying, listen, y'all gonna hear us.
Right.
It's time for
Right.
people to snatch up their elected officials,
Right.
snatch up their leaders, and say, yo, you either with us or you against us. And if you're
Yep.
against us, you're done.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Police officers, yo, you with us? You got family members, friends that are police officers. Like, what's up? Like, are
Right.
you
Call
with
them
us?
out. Yeah, we need to start calling
exactly.
people out.
Like, what's
Yep.
up? Are you with us? Oh man, all right, good. Say no more.
Right. Right.
Say no
Exactly.
more.
And remember that.
And remember that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Remember, because
Keep
it's
that
gonna be a
same
time
energy.
when it's time to come back.
Exactly.
Yeah, when
That
it's time
same
to come
energy,
back.
because it's not right.
Right.
It's not right. And I know people want to say, oh, well, we kill ourselves. Yeah. But the
We do.
difference is these police officers are getting a paycheck
Right.
to
To
kill.
protect us.
No,
That-
they're getting
they-
paid to kill.
Right. Right. But
Now
they're
they-
supposed to
they-
be protecting us. But you're getting
Exactly.
a paycheck. To
Exactly.
Do it.
They
You get-
have training for months
Right.
on how to de-escalate, situations.
Yeah.
These situations are not even escalating. And to be honest, most African Americans don't even say nothing anymore.
Right.
It be other races that go out there and cussing and da-da-da.
Oh no, we wouldn't dare do that.
We don't do it anymore.
Right. And well, you know why? Because I think like for so long we've trained. I know
Yes.
my son, I think maybe when he was about 14, I started having that conversation with him about 14. And then I saw Fruitville Station.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, listen,
You gotta-
listen, do not. But at 14, I was like, yes, sir, no, sir, hands
But
up.
why can't we say nothing?
Right. That's
It's our
so
freedom of speech.
right.
We-
And it's so like
not-
I think like you have that conversation only because you know that it's wrong, but only because you want your child to come home.
Come home.
Yeah. Like listen, let me tell you something. I will say this again because again in any video that I've seen, I've never seen a grown man in any of these videos call out for their mother, and I'm a mother.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what I would do right now if I was watching a video of my son call out for me during this time. Like, I literally swear something bad would happen. Something bad would happen.
Tandy, I implore governors, I implore senators, senators, state representatives, local elected officials to create policies that's going to be harsh for
Right.
these police officers and their actions.
That's the only way it's gonna
the
change.
only
That's
way.
the only way. I heard Steve Harvey say one morning, but when I don't know after which situation it was. It's been so many of them.
Yes.
But he even said it. He was like, the only way it's going to change is if one of these officers actually get convicted and pay some either real time or get the death penalty like other murderers.
But then we still have to have laws legislated. I think their due process, police officers, it's
different.
It's different.
Right.
It's different.
Right. And I actually think that it should be a more stricter process because you're like you said, you're getting a paycheck. Like
Absolutely.
you're actually supposed to protect. You're supposed to
Exactly.
make the community that you work in feel safe.
Exactly.
And so if you're doing the opposite and you get up one morning and just decide you want to kill somebody.
Exactly. You know, and people might get mad, but President Obama, who articulate and smooth as his approach was, he didn't address these issues as
No,
much.
he didn't.
He didn't get up there and talk about the killings of, because on his watch,
Trayvon happened.
and from that point forward, it was going on.
Right. Right.
He talked about gun control.
Right.
Instead of saying the killings of unarmed black men and black women is an
Have to stop.
American issue.
Right.
And because they are Americans, we are going to address these problems. And
Right.
we're going to address these problems by working with governors across these United States. And if we have to put money into not just sensitivity training and all this stuff, like you're a grown man and woman, you don't need no sensitivity training. You
right.
know exactly what you're doing.
Right.
But we're going to put money
Right.
into these states, whereas police officers are doing different things, but now we're going to put initiatives where they're going to be held accountable.
Right.
And we're going to start training, not the police officers, but we're going to train people in the communities, the common man and the common woman,
Right.
how to deal with these things. And not only that, train them to become more self-sufficient, whereas though we don't need the police officers.
Right. How about that? Yeah.
Because what are they doing? I hear police officers say, oh, y'all call us when there's a crime. No, y'all don't come.
Not here they don't. I
y'all
don't know.
don't come.
Well, like I've seen them come in San Antonio, but here they don't come. Like listen, and if they do, it could be
Yeah.
way after the crime then took place, like 5 hours after the crime took place. Like that's if they do show up. That's if they do show up. So what's the purpose? What is their purpose?
I really hope and pray that our African American police officers throughout this country, that they are being convicted, and I said earlier that they'll find a way. They gotta come back. You
Right.
gotta come back
Right.
to the mother house.
You have to,
You will come
because that's
back.
where you started. That's
You're
where you
gonna
came from.
You're gonna come back.
Because at the end of the day, you take that blue shirt off.
That's right.
You take it off.
That's right.
And they still looking at you
Exactly.
just like they look at
That's
us.
right.
They hide it because you
'Cause it's racism
fake
in the police
right, and it's fake. Like they want
They
you to
know it.
feel like you're a part
Exactly.
of
The-
the
team.
fraternity, whatever,
These
the
jokers
team.
got swastikas,
Yeah.
tattoos.
Come on now. Right. Right. So you take that jersey off, you still the same color at the end of the day.
And same thing with elected officials. Same thing.
Right. Right.
Racist.
So crazy. So what time is it? Oh, it's 7:01.
All right.
So
I appreciate this.
I really, I mean, thank you for not allowing me to be asleep.
Yes. 'Cause you didn't
Thank
wanna
you.
watch
I
it.
didn't.
Nah, you
I
didn't
did
watch
not
it.
want to stay woke today.
Yeah.
And I'm usually a stay woke person.
Yes.
So I really appreciate, us having this conversation on my show. I think that it was definitely needed. I don't know how I'm gonna switch it up now, but I have to. But I really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming back
Thank
and us talking
I
about this
appreciate you.
and putting this out into the community.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that I'm willing to work with community leaders. I'm willing to work with anybody that's going to start trying to get our community to change.
I want to change the community leaders.
Oh.
to be honest, I'm keeping it 100 with you
I
because a
can't.
lot of the community leaders sold out too. We need to
Right.
change all of it.
Right.
That's what
right.
we're gonna be doing. Watch,
Okay.
just watch.
Okay, we
All right.
got this.
All right.
So everybody, we're gonna take a break and then I'm gonna come back with my next special guest. This is Truth Talk Radio. And I'm Life Coach Tandy, your favorite level up coach, and I was sitting here with Fareed Abdullah.
Truth Talk Radio is sponsored by Virtual Sisters LLC. Virtual Sisters provides virtual administrative management and takes care of those pesky admin needs that you may not want to be bothered with while running your small business. They will customize admin packages to suit your needs. For royal services for your admin needs, go to IG at virtual_sisters LLC or call them at 727-301-2183.
Hey, Raw, we got one. Moolah. Moolery. He's feeling. I be on that soda. I be twisting herb up. Rim so big, they might fucking break the curb up. My flow, murder. Swag you never heard of. Your wifey say I'm drawing, hit it like I'm trying to hurt her. Niggas wanna play big, but they money short. I put up numbers ball, but I'm never on the court. With this rap shit, I'm going hard like it's a fucking sport. My old heads playing with bricks like they trying to build a fort.
You get red, but I got dough. This full on blade diving when I slide through your blade knife for that grit knife, your time ago. Off your head, my niggas really rock, roll for the bread. Roll for the bread, 4-4, oh, whoa, dog. Hoes in your head. East side, me two to the red. To the front, says you food to you dead. It's moolah gang, moolah boys, we need indie bread. My bitch, she super bad, and I got super bread. You know she super right, but she get me super red.
I hit the booth and switch, turn into Superman. My shorty fresh from Cuba, mommy got super tan. Go ask the haters, can I spit to tell you fuck no? When they know my bars off the wall like nutso.
It's how they did that shit, use that flow. Smoothery, I'm pillin', I'm on damn go. I got pounds of that grass right. Pockets of chunky monkey, I last loud.
The shit you doing, boy, I did that in my past life. I was 13 at the table, learning to bag white. Bitches play me, now the youngin' got a swag right. The chick you fantasize about, I had a tweaker last night.
Smoothery, I feel, and she say my swag right. I'm A1 like AI, and 9-6, you fucking right. Smoothery, I'm feeling right. That 35, that straight drive, screaming dive again, don't gotta whip tonight.
Radio is sponsored by Champagne's 21, the best bar and restaurant located in the heart of Germantown at 21 East Shelton Avenue. If you're looking to order some of the best food in Germantown, call 215-849-7366 for orders. That's Champagne's 21 Bar and Restaurant, the best bar and restaurant in Germantown.
Hey everybody, we're back. This is Truth Talk Radio, and I'm Life Coach Tandy, your favorite level up coach. And now I'm here with my original special guest, Kiki Dawson, the CEO and founder of Koi Dental Academy. Yes. So the main reason why I was just so excited about you coming on the show was because we, when we talked and well, when B introduced us, right?
Yeah.
He mainly introduced us because he was like, you have to meet her. She started a dental school for females.
For females,
right?
originally, yes.
And so I was like, yes, I have to meet her. And so when we talked, you talked about the reason why you started it and the reason why you were trying to educate and give opportunities to females. And I was like, yes, I love a boss chick that's out here trying to empower females and get them to another level.
Absolutely.
Right. So first, tell me a little bit about the school and how you got it started. Like I said, like this lady right here used her black girl magic. Every class that she has of these group of women, she uses black girl magic to make this happen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And it's an honor to be on your show tonight.
Thank you.
My name is Sakinah Dawson. I'm a founder, CEO of Koi's Dental Academy, coming straight out of West Philadelphia, and so I am a West Philly girl. So I know what it is to start from ground zero.
Right.
Start from ground zero. And that goes back to my own childhood, growing
Right.
up in West Philly. We know what it is to not have. And it's certain things that's instilled in us, and it's to give back. And me giving back to these young women, it's not like a job. It's not a business. It's a passion for me. It is something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy seeing someone better themselves.
Right.
So a little bit about my program, Coy's Dental Academy. It is a 12-week accelerated program. So it's 12 weeks, 28 classes. The school is located in the Northern Liberty section of Philly, 1010 North Hancock. So it's 28 classes. Midway through the program, 6 weeks into the program, my students are guaranteed internship placement. So they're all placed at a dental site, and they start their clinical internship. After the 150 hours that is required by the state, they sit for a state board, which is the Dental Assistant National Board.
Okay, so when you explained the program to me, right?
Yes.
And then we talked about the amount that other programs were charging to get this certification.
Yes.
And so what is the average amount that other?
So the average amount is starting from 17 to 30,000 a year. So to be able to invest and believe in yourself, as the students are doing, and come out and be able to obtain a career making anywhere from 35 to 45K a year with no student loans is dope.
Right.
So these young ladies have no debt when they leave our school, and they are placed in position to be able to, receive a guaranteed salary amount.
So that's why I called it Black Girl Magic,
Yeah,
because
it
other
is. It
programs
definitely
are
is.
charging
Yeah.
up to $20,000
Yeah, or more.
or more.
Community
And-
college, I think right now is like 25, 26K.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
these
so they
young-
would have to get a student loan, and
Absolutely.
then in the
Absolutely.
program with having debt. But they're literally able to come to your program
Yes.
with and get a certification and
Yes.
not have any debt.
No debt. No debt. And most of the students have been awarded scholarships on top of that. So low tuition costs, and some have been awarded scholarships.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been giving back because this is what I love to do. I want to see Black Girl Magic.
Right.
I want to see diversity. I want to see barriers being broken.
Right.
My program is just not for African American females. It's also for any woman. I just recently opened the doors up for the young men because I feel the need that after seeing the accomplishments of the women, I'm like, these programs should be in place for the young men as well.
Right.
So
right.
I struggled with it for a little bit, and I just wanted to just strictly just give back to the females. But I was like, you know what? The men need a push too.
Right.
And they need assistance, and they need programs. So I just recently opened it up for the men.
So have you had men enroll in the program
No.
yet?
So
No,
this
you
will be
just
all
started
new.
for the new one.
August
for the new program.
25th, everyone. August 25th, 2020 is my first official class for the young men that are
Wow.
interested in becoming a successful dental assistant in as little as 3 months.
Okay, so then we need to just go back to what led you to even working in the field.
Yes.
And then what led you to actually coming to the conclusion that you needed to help others do this.
Okay.
Right? Because we had a conversation about it.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, that is so amazing. So start with how you even got into the field.
Okay, absolutely. I'll go way back to being a little girl at the age of 14. Okay, I come from a two-parent home. My mother started to see a change in me. And she's like, she's feeling herself. So we need to keep this little girl busy.
Right.
And she was an office manager, still is an office manager at a dental practice. She said, we need to keep her busy. Is there anything, she spoke with her, her boss and said, is there anything that I can have my daughter come in and volunteer to do? File charts, do something to keep her busy. He was like, absolutely, and we'll pay her. So I was like, woohoo, 14 years old, junior high school. I went to Bieber Middle School, and to be able to work in a dental practice in the gallery. Back then I was in the gallery on the 3rd floor in Center City. So I worked in the gallery next to JCPenney's. Here I am, a 14-year-old teen coming out of West Philly, being exposed to dentistry. And it was something that when I was exposed to it, I said to myself, I gotta become a dentist. I gotta do it. It was something that fell in love with, to see people that had low self-esteem and being able to build self-esteem and getting these patients to smile. And even though I wasn't really a part, but I was a part, I just was, file clerk. So to fast forward with my story, of course, I graduated high school. All of the doctors, all of the team that I work with was like, you got to go to school for dental hygiene.
So you continued on.
I continued on.
Until, like, you were in
Yep,
high
so I
school and
continued
everything.
to work
in the
at
same office with your
Modern
mom.
Dental Concepts.
Wow. Wow.
Modern Dental Concepts in Center City from 14 up into high school.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Graduated from high school, graduated from Overbrook High School, and then I attended Harcum College
Okay.
for hygiene. And just to kind of, to just go back a little bit, now that I am a 42-year-old woman, I think back and I say to myself, like, wow, I wonder why the doctors didn't believe in me enough to say, push her to go to dental school.
Right.
They set limitations on me, and they said, go to school for dental hygiene. It's just 2 years. You'll make great money, and, go to school for hygiene. And that's what I did.
Right.
I did exactly what they did. So I allowed for them to set limits on me because I was young, and, I figured this is the best thing to do. So I attended Harcum. I completed the dental assistant program, but then a life curve happened.
Okay.
And I was not able to finish the dental hygiene, but I was able to receive my associate's degree in dental assistant. So I became, an expanded function dental assistant. And then from there, I worked as an assistant for many, many years. And then from dental assistant, I went into office management.
Okay.
Okay. And then from management, we at Modern Dental Concepts, we developed a dental assistant school. I ran the school.
Okay.
I ran the program, so I helped put together the program, and I taught the young ladies to become a dental assistant in 12 weeks.
Okay.
Okay? From there, the program was not successful, and eventually we kind of just geared away from the program, and I decided to do an additional, because I seen the passion in me teaching.
Okay.
I really enjoyed to teach. So I worked for companies like Thompson Institute, which is also a dental assistant program. But when I went into their program, I said to myself, wow, they're teaching these young ladies just to pass a test.
Okay.
So they wasn't giving them the clinical experience that they needed.
They wasn't actually teaching them the skill.
Not at all. They
Okay.
wasn't teaching them the skill. So again, it's like, you know what, we need change. We need change. And I felt like with the years of experience that I had, both clinical, clerical, I could give to these young ladies. So fast forward 2015, I decided to aid someone in, teaching them the trade of being a dental assistant. I did it right from my dining room table.
Wow.
Got them, internship ready, and I gave them all of the study materials that they needed to pass the state board. They became a successful dental assistant. And from that moment on, I said, you know what? I believed in myself and said, I'm going to build my own school and build my own brand and, push through. And here we are, 2018. Coy's Dental Academy has been established.
Okay.
We've been around for 2 years now, and we're growing,
So wait, so you literally taught just one-on-one, someone
one-on-one.
that came to you and asked
but
you
in
for
the,
help.
In the past, with PATA, which was Pennsylvania Academy Dental Assistant, I taught a multitude of students.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
taught maybe, 40 to 50 students because our classrooms were smaller classroom sizes. So a lot of the things that I've learned, I did learn from being able to be exposed to it from the educational standpoint and what it entailed for me to become state board accredited, what steps I needed to take. I had a lot of the doctors that I worked with write me letters of recommendation so I can become state board certified, and from ground zero was able to do so.
Okay, so the person that came to you and asked you to help them get ready, right?
Yes.
So they just, because they knew that you were
course.
capable of
They knew I
doing
was-
it.
yes.
And so they didn't have to go to school
Did not
or
have to
anything.
go to
They
school.
just came to you and asked you
So
to get
what it
them
was,
ready.
it was a challenging moment in this young lady's life.
Okay.
Okay, and this goes back to the reason why I'm so passionate in doing what I'm doing. And she was, and a rocky marriage. And her husband was leaving her, and she was going to be left to be able to support her and her son with no income.
Wow.
She was on public assistance, and I was like, girl, if I can't do nothing, I can teach you to become a dental assistant.
How about that?
And that's exactly what I did. I was able to teach her to become a successful dental assistant. She worked, she trained with me. She sat with me. We studied. It was sleepless nights. She would sit up and she would call me and I would answer questions. And then when she started her internship, she was like, wow, this is something I can see myself doing. And it was such a rewarding feeling to be able to help someone at time of need.
Right. So, okay, so then fast forward to opening up the school. At what point prior to opening up did you say to yourself, well, in order for this to go the way I want it to go,
Yes.
I want to figure out how these young ladies can leave without debt?
Yes. So the reason why I made it low tuition costs is because, to be perfectly honest with you, I just wanted to help. So it wasn't about the amount of money. Some people would say to me, are you out of your mind? You know what you could be charging?
Right.
But it wasn't about the dollar amount. It was about the success story, the legacy that I'm passing on to these young ladies and giving them that motivation to say, hey, listen, this is just a door opener for you. This is an opportunity for you to get into the dental field and for you to actually fall in love and become a passion for you and go back to school and become a dentist. So it's just not, it doesn't stop here. And that's what we encourage our students. We tell them all the time, it does not stop here. It's just the beginning.
Listen, like when you told me your story and when you told me, let me see what time. Oh, we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna finish talking about your story and finish talking about the school. And there's definitely I wanna definitely talk about the class that just graduated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we'll be back 5 minutes.
Trust me with your fears. It's okay because you're safe up here. We're above the clouds and we can't stop now. I know you've been hurt. I promise not to let you down. So please don't give up now. 'Cause we're off the ground. I know it seems far.
Hey everybody, this is Life Coach Tandy, your favorite level up coach on Truth Talk Radio, and we're back, and I'm sitting here with Kiki,
Yes.
and we're talking about Koi Academy,
Yes.
Koi Dental Academy, and how awesome it is. Like,
Thank you.
you know, when we talked, I was just like, you know, when I am around other women on this same journey that I'm on, like
Yes.
my whole reason for Life Coach Tandy is to empower women.
Yes.
Right,
absolutely.
that's my main mission.
Mhm.
And sort of like you, like people have asked, will you help men? And I will, but I'm not gonna lie. Like my whole thing is
It's for the women.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really is.
yeah.
Like I love to see. I don't care what, young, old, whatever. Just level up, get to another level,
Absolutely.
be able to.
And that
have
comes
a
from
system.
self-love.
Yes, yes.
When you
we
love
had a
yourself,
long conversation
yeah,
about
it comes,
that.
It definitely
Yeah.
comes from self-love. So when you're confident as a woman, you want to see other women
Yes.
succeed.
Yes.
So it's
yes.
no shade.
No.
You don't want to
Right.
cut anyone. You want to be able to inspire and push and push and push.
Right.
And when you see that someone may need help and assistance, whether it's you, the students,
Or when you realize that you have an ability to help
yes.
make that happen. Like it's very eye-opening when you realize that you have that ability to do that, or when you have something that's so valuable to allow other people, women, men or women, right?
Right.
Because I agree with you. Being right, like this day and age,
Yes.
or whatever, like we do need to uplift men as well and help them get to another level. I think for us, it's just that we're women, so we can relate.
Oh, absolutely.
We can relate to
Absolutely.
the trials and the tribulations
Absolutely.
that young women, middle-aged women, like whatever age you are, like we can relate to some of the things that you go through at these certain points and times in your life, right?
Right.
So it's just so valuable though to have that gift to be able to give
Absolutely.
back to others, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I would totally agree. Totally agree. And that only comes from God. You know,
Right.
when you have a good heart, a heart of gold, and you want to see other people succeed or see other people, and you express your love through giving, okay? Whether
Right.
it's money or whether it's like what I'm doing for these young ladies, an educational piece for them, or whether it's just a listening ear.
Right.
Some of my students will call me and they'll just be like, Miss Kiki, can we talk? So not only am I a teacher, I teach with love. I teach with, really, really wanting good for these young ladies.
Right, because it's not, like you said, it's not, I see it way more than just like the educational piece. Like you're giving time, because we talked about this too. I was like, it takes a lot of time and effort to figure out how to get this program at the
Absolutely.
amount.
Absolutely.
Like you said something like $3,000 or so if they don't get a scholarship.
Right.
And I'm like, girl, how the heck do you make that happen? Like, it takes a lot of time and effort to figure out how to
do
make that happen. And again, that's strictly out of love and knowing what it's like for the struggles, because you, like, not only did you make a platform for them to get an education, but then you thought further than that. You was like, once they leave here, I don't want them to be in debt. I want them to be free of that and just get on the road of starting a career, making money, and move forward, and maybe, step up their education or level up their education, but at least they won't have debt when they leave here. Because $20,000 in debt is a lot when you're like 20 or so. Like, that's
and
a lot
most
of money.
of the young ladies, they live for that moment. They say yes to an opportunity. They sign. They don't even read when they sign.
Right.
They're just reading. And they're just signing off on these grants and these loans, and it's money to be able to pay. And then this is not even something that I want to do. You know, I've had so many young ladies tell me they attended these programs and they don't know why they went to school for dentistry.
Right.
Because they were taught from a textbook and they wasn't taught to understand. So my teaching style is totally different than the rest of the schools. I teach with a complete understanding to get these young ladies to understand what they're reading. That comprehension part of it, it's like having these young ladies, especially as young as 18 to 25, is kind of hard for them just not to just read. Okay, because they'll read a chapter or two, and then you're like, so tell me about that chapter. Tell me what you
got out
was
of it.
able to comprehend out of that chapter. And I don't know.
Right.
You know, so basically you're just reading to read. I don't want you to read to memorize.
Right.
I want you to understand the work, and when you understand it, it makes the test taking part of it so much easier.
Okay, so when we come back, I want to talk about the fact that, yes, when we come back, I want to talk about the fact that there's people that come to you for some other things. I don't want to talk about it before we go on break, but
okay.
when we go on break, I'm going to come back.
away so high in the sky to the clouds turn gray. Talk about flying away. You can take a ride anytime, any day. Let me in your helicopter so I can break you off something hella proper. I said it's going down, baby. I'm talking about emergency now, Mayday. We gon' need at least 2 pair of shoes just to land what you got, damn you cute. Got an attitude, make a nigga wanna fly in your latitude. Tryna buy a ticket one way, I bet you never took a trip on this runway. Yeah.
Much more than me, much more than me, much more than me, much more than me, much more than me could see.
We're back, and this is Life Coach Tandy on Truth Talk Radio, and I'm sitting here with Kiki Dawson, CEO and founder of Koi Dental Academy, right?
Yes.
And so before we went on break, I was saying that I wanted to also share with my listeners the part of the story that you're leaving out is that people have attended other programs, right?
Yes.
Didn't complete the program.
Yes.
Or couldn't pass the test after they completed the program, right? And then they come to you.
Yes.
After they've completed other programs, they come to you to get your assistance on passing the exam and
State board.
Getting the certification, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, go ahead. Tell me about that.
We've had students in the past that have worked in a dental office for certification. So something goes off in their head and they're like, I need help, and I need to be able to pass this state board. They go reach back out to their schools, and their schools is like, we can help you, but you got to re-enroll. Okay, you now need to re-enroll, and you need to re-enroll into the whole program, because they don't just give the radiology piece of it. So a lot of the schools don't give support as far as after these young ladies graduate and they unfortunately fail the exam, they don't have like resources where they can come back and they can get assistance to help them be able to pass.
Wow.
So, other students that have graduated from the program may even start working at the practice. And it's like, hey, you need to check out my school. I went to Koi's Dental Academy, located in Northern Liberties.
Okay.
The teacher was awesome. Reach out to her, and she'll be able to get you to pass.
So that's how some of the other young ladies.
And then
come
when
to
those
some other
young
programs.
ladies come to me, I'm floored. I'm like, the reason why you'll never pass is you don't understand dentistry. You do not understand the basics. What you've been taught is just hands-on what to do and how to pass the instruments and what instruments you need for preparation. You don't understand the concept. You don't understand dental anatomy. You don't understand the importance of understanding what radiation actually is, how it changes the form of the human body. So if you understand that piece and you understand that radiation changes the form of the human body, it leaves no room for errors.
Okay.
Okay? So once you administer that radiation, you need to know what you're doing. And if you do not know what you're doing, you're now putting that patient at a higher risk of being exposed to unnecessary radiation. So I have to revamp and just get them back to the educational piece, which is the understanding of dentistry.
Right.
Okay? Being taught, it would be the same like as if you worked at Target and you worked in customer service. It's different than understanding the management piece if you decided that you wanted to be a store manager. All you know is from what you've been taught, cashier and so forth. Same with dentistry. You know chairside dental assistant, but in order to pass the state board, they want to know, the state wants to know that you understand the educational piece and that if they award you a licensure, that you are not going to make these mistakes. So they want to make sure that you understand it and you understand it textbook.
So, okay, so you had a class, right, that was almost getting ready to complete that 12 weeks right when COVID started.
Yes.
So COVID-19 politely just came and swept over the
and
world
disrupted our lives.
Yeah, everybody's
unfortunately.
lives. And so in the midst of that class, you had to figure out, well, you didn't have to. You could have just said,
we could have put it on pause.
Right.
But Kiki doesn't know any pause. I like
Kiki
I
don't know
said,
pause.
I teach with a passion. If I had to bring those young ladies to my home, I was doing that. And of course I couldn't do that because I didn't want to put anyone at risk. So we had to convert to online.
Okay.
I was not stopping the classes. I was not stopping their education. We were moving to online classes and we were going to push through.
So what you did was you took a couple of weeks to figure out how to go virtual, how to do Zoom classes.
No couple weeks, no.
Not with your black girl magic.
No,
2 days.
Listen,
you took 2 days, 2.2 seconds.
When the state made it official that they were, first of all, I was already contemplating it because I kind of thought it was coming. It was coming.
Right.
So when they made it official, I said to myself, okay, we have to put out Zoom. So I had to now send out the information to the students and educate them on how to log in, what to do, how to go into Google Classroom. And it worked out just fine. It actually worked out better because the students were able to really stay focused and really be at a standstill and not out, doing their everyday life or working, and could really focus on class.
So how many weeks was it?
So we were 4 weeks in.
You were only 4 weeks in?
We were only 4 weeks in. So the students only got 4 weeks in class.
Wow.
Yep. The rest of it was done online. Everything was online. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was our reasoning behind the drive-through graduation ceremony for those young ladies.
So that was the next thing that I wanted to bring up. So so they get to, they get done, they get finished, and then you get to the graduation part of it. And then it's like, this was part of how COVID affected a lot of people. Like there's kids in high school,
seniors,
and
that mental
college,
piece,
all of this that's not being able to go through one of the most gratifying parts of completing anything, college, high school, like
trade school,
anything.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
the graduation piece is to be acknowledged, to feel gratified, to feel
validated.
Yay, I did something.
I did it, yes.
And so again, what did you do with your, I keep saying it, your black girl magic.
Black girl magic.
You're talking about my brain doesn't stop. I think you was like, okay, we're not going to go without not acknowledging the hard work of these young ladies.
So what I did was I had a conversation with a few of my friends, and one of my friends, I want to give mad props to him. His name is Jamal Tyson. And he has a business, Humble Music Group. And what he did was he basically was like, hey, let us just go and just go for your top of your class, which would be your honorees. So we have 4.
Okay.
That was honorees. And I said, you know what? Why not do it for all?
Right.
Okay? So if we do it for the 4 that went over and beyond and they over excelled, how would that make the other students feel? I was like, I couldn't sleep at night.
Right.
You know, because I tell you, I teach and I've developed such a love and a passion and a relationship with these young ladies. I said, I want to do it for all.
Right.
We'll just go over and give them a grander experience, but we're going to do that for all. And when I say it was a trying moment because everybody was like, oh my gosh, here you go with these grand ideas and you spontaneously, and everything that I pulled together and I did, it was like within 48 hours.
What?
So I called Fareed Abdullah and I said, listen, I need you to be my commencement speaker. I reached out to B. McFly. Shout out to B. McFly. He helped me out so much.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And also connected me to you.
Yes.
Contacted B. McFly, contacted my videographer, Jay Films. And I was like, I need you. I was like, well, what exactly do you need? I don't know. Just follow my lead. And I know
just show up. But you know what? I know you called two right people to say just show up. You don't really know.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing it.
Show up.
I just
need and Fareed is the two to call when you. Yeah,
I just need y'all here.
Yeah,
we're gonna make it happen. I'll probably leave you guys drive too fast because B was like, "Yo, you are driving. Do you realize we're following you?"
Right.
Because they had to follow me.
To each person's home.
So
let me make sure my listeners understand. So what you decided to do was give a graduation.
Yes.
But give a commencement to each person individually because of COVID-19.
Absolutely.
So you got a group of people together.
Yes.
You recorded it for the young ladies so that they would have
their diploma. They completed the program. They deserve to be honored. So I said to them, have your friends, family, and be photo ready. That's all I told them. They had no idea that we were going to do it big like that.
So they didn't know what what was going to happen when you pulled up, right?
And I'm going to be perfectly honest with the listeners. I didn't know what was going to happen.
But I saw the video. It was the sweetest thing ever.
It was a moment that was a wow factor, and all we could say was we did it. You know,
you show up. So the girls they're outside waiting, right?
Yeah, they're outside waiting.
And so you show up.
It wasn't planned. It was not planned. So you would think that, okay, so the one student would be scheduled for 2 o'clock. No, that's not how Kiki works.
We get there when we get there.
We get there when we get there. I'm going to be all over the place, but we're going to make it happen. And that's exactly what we did. And it was a memorable experience.
Okay, so you show up. The girls are there with their families, right? And then you had, then tell my listeners what happened.
So at that point, we would award them with their certificate. We would dine them in their cap and gown, and then we would have our two speakers give them words of encouragement. We would take photos. Their friends and family would be there to cheer. We were all 6 feet social distancing with face masks on, and it was history. It was 2020 and history, and it was like to be able to give those young ladies something that they can always look back at and say, during the pandemic, I still
accomplished this.
Yes,
wow. That is an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
For myself, I've done some things during the pandemic, and I'm like, yes.
I know.
I'm a badass. I did this during the pandemic, right? So, but it's like when I saw the video, right, I was like family members were there. They were so excited. The girls, they looked so proud.
What we did was we went to every part of Philadelphia. So we had young ladies from West Philly, from South Philly, from North Philly, from Kensington and Allegheny, from Lawnside. I mean, we were all over the place. And I tried my best to try to keep it geographical and all right, we'll do all the West Philly students. Oh, wait, I forgot the student. It was just.
So y'all were just everywhere.
We were everywhere. But
it was so awesome.
It was so dope.
It was
and
so
it
awesome.
was what it needed to be. And I think if it was scripted and it was planned out, it wouldn't have turned out so awesome. So just big ups to everybody that stayed there and they supported me and they believed in our vision, and we brought it to life. And the students will be ever so grateful.
Yes,
and it'll be a memory that they'll always remember. You know, when I graduated dental assistant school, we did it up big.
Right,
So, giving them the encouragement, okay, now you're going to go into the dental field. You're going to go back to school. You're going to take out student loans when you become a successful dentist. You're going to see that this is something that I can do. And I tell my students all the time, 8 years. We have young ladies that wait 8 years for men in prison. Okay? So if you can wait for a man in prison for 8 years,
You can go to school
come
for 8
on
years.
now.
How about
Come
that?
on now.
How about that?
Yes, and you
Listen.
can believe in yourself and you can achieve.
But you know, that's so funny though, because we had like several different conversations, right?
Yes.
And so in one of our conversations, that was one of the things that we talked about, like some of the things that we go through as females, some of the things that some of these young females go through,
Yes.
and how we were working to encourage them to be better, and just how to change their thought process
mental-
and their mindset, right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
like me and Kiki, we were sitting there and we were like, okay, how we gonna work together? I'm gonna get you. It's like, how we gonna work together to because you were like, listen, I just want to teach. I don't want to be a life coach.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'm like, we can collaborate. I can
she
bring
was
you,
like,
yeah.
she was like, I don't want to be a life coach. I
let's
don't
do
want
it.
to do that part. I don't want to do that part.
Because
it's hard enough just being the educator. Right?
When I'm both the educator, the mother, the life coach,
That's draining.
It's so draining.
No,
and I
'cause you already-
can't give them my all from an educational
But
standpoint.
I also said too, it's enough doing the educational part and trying to figure out how to give the educational part the way that you do. Like that's enough in itself. That right there just.
And I
eliminates
always
everything
have to
else.
stand firm to what I teach my young students, and I tell them, you have to stay in your lane. So being in the dental field is you have to understand your level of expertise, what you're able to do. I know that's out of my room. I didn't go to school for psychology.
Right.
I didn't go to, so
Right.
I would not try to give them something that would not give them my all.
Right.
You know,
right,
I
right.
would bring on the experts like yourself.
Right.
I would bring on the experts, the
Right.
ones that have that educational background, that have that experience, that can speak life into these young ladies and tell them, you can do it.
Right.
You can do it.
Yeah,
And-
when we talked about that, I was like, I'm definitely down for it, because that's all
Yeah.
my that's just totally a part of my purpose.
Yes,
of my,
I would
of my
love. I
journeys.
would love to do it. And I'm always thinking bigger and bigger projects. And stay tuned for Tranquility Dentistry. I myself, Sakinah Dawson, is opening up my first dental practice. I'm going to open up
Yes.
my own dental practice. I'm going to hire a dentist, bring in the students from the dental assistant school. So it's not. It doesn't
stop there.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely
then they'll
not.
also have a place to do their
Absolutely.
clinical.
Yes.
Right, that
They'll
is
always
smart.
have they'll do
That's
their
smart.
internship with me.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
so,
smart.
Yeah.
That's
So,
that's
and
smart.
when we talk about Black Girl Magic and we talk about a vision, it is something that when you believe in yourself and you say to yourself, I can do this, sky's the limit.
Right.
Sky's
It
the
definitely
limit.
is. That's all you have
Sky's
to
the
do is
limit.
say
And
that
it's
you
like,
can
yep.
do it.
Mhm.
That's all you have to do is say you can do it.
Yeah.
So, let everybody know where they can find you.
Oh, absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram, Koi's Dental Academy, or Twins, UMMTWINZ. Also, you can contact me via phone, 215-715-0701, or simply contact me at Koi's Dental Academy, which is located at 1010 North Hancock and the Philadelphia Northern Liberty section of Philly.
And what date does the next program start?
The next class starts August 25th, and that's going to
August-
be open for both male and female. So I'm
August
super
25th.
excited. I'm super
Yeah, that's
excited.
gonna be awesome.
I love my girls. Girls is the original Koi's because it's women in dentistry. It is what it is. I love my females, and I'm always going to be pro support and empowering women. But at the same time, why not help the young men? And
I
give
mean,
them
yeah,
an
because
avenue
they're
as well.
they're a part of the future, and
Absolutely.
you know we have to start guiding our young men
Absolutely.
into a better direction as well.
Yep.
Like that's gonna be part
And then
of
when you
uplifting the
show
community.
young men that this is a field that, they'll encourage other women,
to do.
and it'll be vice versa. The women will encourage young
Other men.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my goal.
So thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
for
to
having
the
me.
show and
Thank you.
talking about your Black Girl Magic.
Absolutely.
It's so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So everybody, it is what time? It's 7:52. And 7:52, and this was Truth Talk Radio with Life Coach Tandy, your favorite level up coach. And everybody knows where they can find me at lifecoachtandy.com or at Life Coach Tandy, right?
Yes.
That's it for tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Boom. Done.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. It's the weekend. Ain't no way I'm staying home tonight. Come on, baby. Ooh, hey. My shoes is right, the jeans is tight, my hair is fly, just like it should be. Hop in the ride, it's on tonight. I'm just grooving. The mood is right, my makeup fly, my girls is right, just like they should be. I can't deny, this is the life. I'm just cruising. It's the weekend, ain't no way I'm staying home tonight. About to take a walk or something just to pass the time. I'm keep tripping, grandma bugging too, and I'm not trying to hear it. I'm in a good mood, they keep trying to interfere, so I'ma dip, I'ma slide, I'ma disappear. About to get dressed, call my girls and get up out of here. We gon' get